All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Shemawi, Shabbat, Shemakakwadash. Double honor to the apostle of this great millstone. Shalom to all the Akim out there pushing the word of sincerity and the truth. Yeah, I just want to go straight into it, dealing in regards to things that are heating up. You know, you see on the worldwide stage, Putin, made nuclear threats. And there's been a lot of nuclear threats throughout the years, initially aimed at America. You know the thing with Kim Jong-un, speaking about pushing the button, and Donald Trump responding saying he got a bigger button to press, and that's all prophecy, Luke 21, Matthew 24, about wars and rumors of wars, and the most devastating war of all wars that ever took place was world wars, World War I, World War II. All right, and if you look at the casualties was astronomical. They were way worse in World War II than World War I. And the prophecy in Isaiah 9 and 5 speaks about every noise of the battle with the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. All right, so what's that burning and fuel of fire? And these prophetic times that we're living in, nuclear missiles. All right, it even tells you in 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, great are the arrows that get shot from the ends of the world. All right, that's why they're known as what? Intercontinental ballistic missiles. The ballistics, of course, is the warheads. That's the heads that hurt. Because those warheads was going to take America out. And these nations aren't just making these nuclear threats just to try to scare somebody. All right, they have enough artillery that's level under nuclear missiles to to go to war. Cruise missiles. You have all these different fighter jets and all these different variations of weapons in their cache. The list is extensive. But for them to actually conclude everything nuclear, that shows that the Most High is speeding up the times, man. Proverbs, the 21st chapter, speak about how the king's heart is in the mind of the Lord, and he turneth it whatsoever he will. So he's turning the minds of these kings, which the modern day kings, of course, is your presidents, your prime ministers, predominantly, those are the ones that are in the seat of the highest ambassador. All right, ambassador meaning servant. When you look at president, I think it might regard to, if I'm not mistaken, first servant, or to preside over. So these individuals preside over these different realms, and these kings, their minds are going to be geared towards pushing the button, man. And Biden is not going to have no choice, which we don't know if it's necessarily going to be his presidency where everything goes down, but we hasten the day, of course. But these different presidents, American president, the European parliament, whatever rulership or prime minister, they're not gonna shy away from exchanging nuclear missiles. All right, that's the conclusion of the matter. All right, and the times that we living in, prophecy is heating up. The Most High is turning up the fuel. He's throwing more fuel on the fire of the battlefield, so that these different nations can act and react quickly. They were speaking about how the Russian president is supposed to deploy 300,000 more troops into Ukraine. And speculators and analysts alike, basically, Russia is already having a tough time with Ukraine, so them actually having to put that much in, they might not have the actual firepower. Those individuals might be less trained and things of that nature. They're saying conclusively this is Esau's narrative from what the news is saying. But they're saying that Russia's not doing too good in this Ukrainian war. All right, they're still not that they're not progressing and actually getting these different key cities, but the time lag and really Ukraine is taking it somewhat to their asses, for lack of a better term. Even though Russia is still, doing their thing, But I say all that just to say, through the Spirit, if that's the case, these nations are going to just go from 0 to 100. They're going to start playing with these minute weapons, and they're going to go into what the mass majority of taxpayers pay for is the most expensive shit in their weaponry. Whenever you are engaged in warfare, and you're losing the battlefront from a hand-to-hand standpoint, and your front lines are being eradicated and things of that nature. If you got the resources, and that's why these things were created, bulwarks, which that's, if I'm not mistaken, that's really just to destroy castles and things of that nature. But war elephants, when they started to introduce these different weaponized diversity to the battlefields, it was for a cutting edge, alternative. It was to cut through and change the whole dynamics and to be a equalizer, because some individuals, when it comes to hand warfare, like Rome was known for their positioning. You had the phalanx, if I'm not mistaken. It was the ways that the Greek hoplites, they had the different ways where they knew how to position their military. So, the enemy is going to look for leverage points, whether sneak attacks, ambushes. They're going to look, to play either lower or play from a higher positioning. It's warfare. So if these different nations, knowing what's to take place, Scripture says that in Isaiah, the 14th chapter, let the weak say I'm strong, because they're learning how to side with each other. And they've known these things, but they're taking these things, it's life or death with these different nations, man. Any mishap could send their whole society into jeopardy. That's the minds of these kings. These kings are going to make determining decisions. All right, they're going to make decisions for their people, for their nation, and it's all going to lead to, even if it has to be casualties of their own, it's all to win the greater battle. Because at the end of the day, the Russian president is fighting for his country above all. They all Edomites, of course, but it's houses of Esau. Scripture says that in Matthew 12 and 25, Satan's house divided against itself, it shall not stand. It shall not stand. All right. Esau's house is divided against each other. All right. That's why the French went to war with the British. That's why the British went to war with the Spaniards. You had all Portuguese. You had all these different houses of Esau. Always, you had the Scramble of Africa. You had all these different situations take place, and a lot of times the Edomites were fighting the Edomites, but then they would become the enemy of my enemy as friends. So they'll bow down sometimes through certain policies to take on a common front, which is really you 12 tribes and the heathens, to submit them and make their houses the top house, and amongst their house they're still warned. So it's going to boil down really to them. But ultimately, we know the Lord of Lords, King of Kings, Yahweh Shah, the Lion from a tribe of Judah, he's going to conquer all. So that's the conclusion of the matter. But I just wanted to speak on that. Things is flaming as far as what's going on. Every day is a new page to add to the chapter of the story. So, that ended by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Shema, Shabbat, Shema, Kakodash, double honor to the apostle, Elder Great Millstone, Shalom, Akim.